Recently, I've started talking to God for the first time really in my life. I was brought up Christian, I've been baptized, I've had communion, I went to a Catholic primary school. But religion never really sort of felt like something that was important to me when I was in primary school and at that age. I sort of just kind of shrugged it off as soon as I finished primary school and moved on to a new school. And I didn't really talk to God at all anymore. It was only recently where I started talking with him for the first time in a long time, if ever. I started talking to God because I realized he was the only one that can know for real what I am meant to be. He is the only one who knows the path for me. He knows what's best for me. So I'd be stupid not to talk to him. I can talk to the literal God of the universe. And for years I hadn't. And the God of the universe can mentor me, guide me down the right path. So all of a sudden, I've started building this relationship with God. I haven't conformed to a religion yet or anything. I'm just focusing on my relationship with God. I think that religion and talking to God are so essential in modern times. Recently, I've realized that our age of degeneracy and all of the things associated with modern times, loneliness, a world driven by sex. That is all because, well, I've come to the conclusion that the state of our world is effectively due to the fact that religion is not prominent in the West compared to what it used to be. Of course, there are still religious people in Western countries, of course, but it has become more normalized to not follow a religion and therefore not talk to God. And the not talking to God has bred sloppiness, and we've slipped into an age of degeneracy, which I believe only God can pull us out of. I can't tell you what God wants for your life, but I'm pretty sure it's not money, fame, or sex. But only if you talk to God can you know what He wants you to do. Can you know what He wants you to be? When I had this thought come into my head, I started praying on that very day. I realized that I wasn't being what I was meant to be. Although I was making YouTube videos and I was spreading the idea of self-improvement and stuff like this, I was getting caught up in the numbers. This sort of not jealousy, but like clout chasing sort of thing. It's not like I was making videos purposely to get views, but I was hoping they'd get views. And I was constantly looking back at the numbers, checking over and over, when I really should should just be focusing on making good content. God can help cleanse you of desires and all these things that are characteristic of our modern age. But He can only do it if you talk with Him. Before I start, I'd like to say God isn't this big, scary, ruthless being that some depictions make Him out to be. No, he is far from that. He is the complete opposite. Even if you've been away for years, He welcomes you back with open arms. He rushes out to meet you as soon as you make contact with Him. Even if you've neglected Him for your entire life, He will still welcome you. So get this image of this ruthless, power-seeking God out of your head. Because God is all-forgiving. The most essential part about building your relationship with God, like you would guess, is prayer. At the moment, that's what I've been focusing on, prayer. I don't go to church or anything yet because I don't know what religion I'm following. But I just talk with God. You don't have to fix yourself before you talk to God. You can start right now. Because God will fix you. God will allow you to be the best you can be. And He will make you what you are meant to be. You come to God with addictions and He can help you along the path to get you off of them. But He can't do it if you don't talk to Him. And don't let Him help you through it. Now let's get on to how to pray. I would start by suggesting to schedule a time of day where you pray. Every single day. For me, it's right before bed. Literally the last thing I do is sit down and I pray. And then I go to bed effectively. I journal for a bit afterwards and that's about it. Start by sitting. Have open body language with your palms facing up. And you might want to sit in a chair or sit on the ground. It doesn't, I sit on the ground, but I don't think it's essential to be sat in a chair or sat on the floor. Then once you've sat down and opened up your body language, the reason you do it is because your body, your physical body, is the manifestation of your spiritual body. So if you've got open body language, you're open and ready to receive. Then once you've opened your body up, begin by taking some deep breaths, effectively like how you would start a meditation. Allow your breath to heat up the tension in your muscles and melt it away, so it melts the world around you, leaving only your soul. Then once your body and the world melts away around you, you can start to visualize God right next to you. I sort of like to visualize Him as like a man sitting next to me. And then I'd start to talk. I start by apologizing for my sins and acknowledging that I am not perfect, because no human is. Then, after I've apologized, I send prayers for others. there are so many other people you can send prayers for. It can be someone you know, it can be a situation you know is bad, such as wars and poverty and all this stuff. Or it can be someone you're yet to know, the future generation. People who will come into your life in the future. After you've finished up this prayer for someone else, I like to start praying for something I'm struggling with at the moment. I prefer to focus on a mixture of spiritual and like mental things and like actual physical things that I'm doing. So for example, I've got exams coming up at the moment and I might pray for help in those, but I also pray for struggling with cloud chasing and urges to vap and all these other things I'll pray for help with. Then once you finish that up, I like to add a bit at the end saying, God, if this is really you, you know what's best for me, and that's what I want. This way, if I've missed anything, I don't have to worry about it because it'll be all covered. Then I like to finish off just by thanking God. You can make that as long as you want, and then I finish by saying Amen. Or whatever way you want to finish your prayer. If you have another sort of religious background, you might finish it differently. And then I slowly open my eyes and I'm finished. I believe that prayer is essential to our lives. What better way could we spend 5 to 10 minutes of our time than talking to the God of the universe? It is a worthwhile thing to do. And even if you don't notice anything, which you will, it's only 5 to 10 minutes of your time. You got hardly anything to lose. Try this out if you are struggling with your prayer, or you, like me, haven't prayed before and want to start. I promise you, you will feel His presence and you will start to see His guidance the more you start to talk with Him. I love you all. Now stop consuming and go create.